The man who woke up in a town that didn't exist. One morning in November 2022, a man woke up in a strange motel room. His clothes were unfamiliar. His phone had no signal. And when he walked outside, he found himself in a town he'd never seen on any map. A town that shouldn't exist. A town no one remembers. His name was Daniel Avery, and what happened to him may be the most chilling unsolved mystery you've never heard of. Daniel Avery was a 34-year-old software engineer from Denver, Colorado. On November 11th, 2022, he was supposed to fly to Austin for a tech conference. He checked in at Denver International, sent his wife a photo from the gate. That was the last anyone heard from him, until 3 days later, when Daniel called his wife from a payphone. He sounded confused, panicked. "I don't know where I am. Everyone here is acting strange. I think I'm being watched," Daniel said, panic evident in his voice. Daniel later recalled waking up in a motel room, one he had no memory of checking into. The motel key said Duskwood Inn. Outside, the town felt off. The streets were empty, no cars, no birds. The sky had a strange yellow tint. People walked slowly, avoided eye contact, and gave vague answers. No one used a smartphone. No one seemed to recognize the outside world. When Daniel asked where he was, they all said the same thing. In eerie unison, the townspeople replied, "You're in Duskwood. You've always been in Duskwood." Daniel tried to leave the town by foot, but every road curved back. No matter which direction he walked, he ended up at the same diner on Main Street. He stole a car from a garage, drove for 2 hours straight. The fuel gauge dropped, but the scenery never changed. Same trees, same signs, same yellow sky. Then, without warning, he was back at the Duskwood Inn. It was like the town was looping him, or learning from him. That night, Daniel broke into the town hall. The building was dusty, abandoned, yet the lights were on. In the basement, he found hundreds of boxes labeled with people's names. Most were handwritten case files, old Polaroid photos, letters, school IDs. Many had returned stamped in red, others erased. Then he found a file labeled Daniel Avery. Inside was a photo of him sleeping in the motel bed. Dated November 11th, 2001, 21 years before his disappearance. That night, Daniel climbed onto the diner's roof to look for a signal. His phone didn't work, but the diner's old radio did. Static buzzed. Then a voice came through. With a commanding tone, the radio voice said, "Daniel, stop searching, stop resisting. You chose this." He threw the radio off the roof. That's when the people of Duskwood started gathering, silently, around the building, watching, not blinking. One of them finally spoke. In an ominous tone, a townspeople said, "You're not supposed to remember. You're making things worse." Daniel's wife received another call. A man said, with a composed voice, the mysterious man informed, "You can pick him up tomorrow. He's ready." She drove to the GPS coordinates they gave her. There was no town, just an empty field. But there, standing alone, was Daniel, dressed in the same clothes, his eyes blank. When she hugged him, he didn't speak. He didn't recognize her. He just whispered. In a disoriented voice, Daniel said, "I had a dream. I woke up in a place that never was, and I think I'm still dreaming." The FBI opened an investigation, but they found no evidence of any town named Duskwood, no records, no postal codes, no satellite imagery, nothing. To this day, Daniel Avery hasn't spoken more than 10 words at a time. He spends most days staring at the sky. His wife says sometimes he flinches, as if he hears voices no one else can hear. A therapist once asked him what happened in the town. He replied. With a haunted voice, Daniel said, "It's not a place, it's a test." What do you think Duskwood really was? A government experiment? A parallel dimension? A psychological prison? Drop your theory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange stories you've never heard of. Because not all towns are on maps, and not all people are meant to leave. In the months following his return, Daniel never regained his sense of self. He now spends his days in solitude, drawing maps of towns that don't exist, with paths that lead nowhere. His wife discovered hundreds of them in his office, each different yet eerily similar. His wife, concerned, asked him, "Daniel, what are these maps? What do they mean?" Daniel replied, lost. "They're where I went, where I lost myself. They're echoes of places and choices I can't remember making." Sometimes Daniel is seen in town, standing in front of shop windows, staring at his reflection as if waiting for it to recognize him. Locals say he mutters to himself, strings of words that make no sense. A local, speculating, said, "I think he's waiting for something, or someone, like he's a ghost from a place we can't see." As night falls, Daniel walks the streets, a solitary figure synchronizing his steps with shadows. A man without a map or a destination, traversing paths threaded with secrets only he can hear.